The first card you have your past is the Ace of Swords. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of mixed feelings around this. I'm feeling some pressure around you. I'm feeling determination as well, and this feeling of being kind of determined to get certain things finished, get a lot of things finished out of the way. I think this might have been happening around the workplace. I think you really had a whole lot of tasks to achieve. You were trying to get them done, and they're kind of all grouped in together. One kind of depended on the other. But I'm also seeing that you're trying to push these things, trying to get these things through. But I think there might have been someone who you were with, someone around you. This might have been a colleague, this might have been a boss. I hope it wasn't a boss, because I am seeing someone who was trying to really, really give you problems, actually. Stopping you in some way, being really defensive, trying to kind of mess you up. And I think, you really would have liked to have just worked by yourself without this person around you. But, you couldn't do that. You had to have them around you, because this was in the workplace. This is what I'm seeing. You couldn't cut them out. You couldn't say goodbye. You couldn't tell them to go away. They were just there. And they had to work either alongside you, or they were your boss, or they had to do something with you. And I just think they were really trying to, I think they felt defensive in some way. I think they felt really like they were out, like I think they were kind of in some kind of little battle in their head against you. It was very, very strange. They either thought you're in some kind of competition with them, or they wanted to kind of mess you up. Maybe they thought you were trying to get their job. It might have been something like that. They were very, 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 and they weren't just saying that to you. They weren't just saying things up front. They were doing all these little kind of tactics behind your back, trying to kind of mess you up, do these things. And yeah, it's really terrible. I really hope you'll be able to get through this soon if you haven't already. But I'm just getting so much stress around this. It's really, really terrible, really frustrating. I'm seeing all this 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and someone trying to really someone trying to really bother you and mess things up for you and all of that kind of thing. Yeah, and the Ace of Swords is really about cutting through the rubbish and trying to kind of get clarity about things. And that's what you were trying to do. You were trying to kind of get some clarity about how you could do all these things, why they were acting like this, trying to stop all of this. But really you couldn't. Really you couldn't at this time. You actually couldn't. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm really feeling that. The next card you have your past is the Knight of Swords. So yeah, again, I think this person might have been feeling really threatened actually in some way. And I think they might have been feeling as if they had to kind of fight you even in some way. Not literally, obviously, but they're in some kind of fight against you. They thought that you were their opponent for some reason. And I am getting this feeling that they felt that they might be losing something because of you, that you were going to take something away from them. They might have felt that their job was a bit kind of on the edge. They might be losing their job maybe, or they were kind of not very capable, and maybe they felt that you were going to take their job. It might be something like that. And yeah, I'm really getting this feeling of someone coming into the attack because they felt as if they might lose something. That's what I keep on seeing. And I think you realised they were trying to be subtle. They were trying to do all these little things behind the scenes, I'm seeing. But trying to, every time you tried to get something forward, they'd say no, they'd find something wrong with it, or they'd do something behind the scenes. And, you're really sharp when it comes to people. You can usually see what's behind different people's behaviour and their actions. And I think you knew what was going on, but you had to try and be calm. You had to try not to be like this knight. They were like this knight, but you had to try not to be, because this was in the workplace, so you had to try and be calm. You couldn't be jumping up and down and yelling. And they weren't doing that either. They were trying to fight, but they were kind of doing this in a subtle way, but it kind of came across as being, they were kind of fighting against you. Yeah, I hope this is all making sense. I know this is a bit muddled, because this is really, I'm really feeling this chaos and this person trying to cause chaos, and it's kind of making me a bit chaotic myself. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I'm feeling this pressure as well. And I think this pressure might be coming from somewhere else outside of this. I don't know if this is coming from your partner or a friend, but I think someone outside of the situation, you might have been telling them about this, and they might have been telling you to kind of hurry up, just work through this, just get this thing done, just get through this situation. But you couldn't do that. You had this difficult person to deal with, and they kept on stopping you every time you tried to get this thing done. And I don't think this person understood that. But yeah, I'm really not even seeing this thing over. I think you might still be going through this, sadly. Yeah, so I'll go on to the next card. This is really confusing me, because this is really, I'm really seeing someone being really chaotic and making you really feel really chaotic and under attack as well. And they felt under attack as well. That's what I'm seeing in this whole past. So the last card you have, your past, is the Page of Swords. Yeah, so again, they were defensive, they were trying to fight their corner. What they saw was their corner, and they felt they had to fight. And again, they were trying not to be obvious about it, but you could see what they were doing. And I'm also seeing that they might have been trying to stop you or prevent you from finding something out about them. It's almost like they felt as if they were in some kind of crazy battle. I keep on seeing this battle, and they had to try and strategize, and they had to try not to reveal everything to the opponent. It's something like that. This wasn't a great big huge secret, I don't think, but it was kind of a part of their defensive-ness, if that makes sense. And there was definitely a big deception going on as well. They were hiding a lot from you. They were hiding the way that they were treating you from other people. Very, very, very deceptive person. But this was coming from a place of feeling as if they were fighting for themselves, fighting for their own lives, fighting for their survival or something like that. Fighting, maybe they felt as if they were fighting for their job. They had some strange idea that you were after them, wanting to take their job, wanting to do something, and that's what they were doing. So they weren't letting you get any work done, they weren't letting you get anything done, because they were just too busy thinking about this fight and kind of acting on it all the time. And if this is resonating, I really, really hope you find a way to get through this really quickly, because it's really driving me crazy as well. I'm so muddled in this. I'm going to try and move on to the present. The first card you have, your present, is Temperance. Right. So I'm seeing a love connection in this card. There's a lot of passion between you and someone else. I think there's also a lot of, I think you might have spent a lot of time trying to understand each other in some way. I think you both put in a lot of effort to try and understand each other. I think you definitely love each other, you and your partner, or this love connection, and you really care about each other. I'm seeing some kind of barrier that you both had to get through to be able to be together. Now, you might have had some kind of cultural differences. It might have even been a language barrier. I don't know if it was that extreme, but it was some kind of difference that you had. And there were compromises that you had to make. You both had to make them to be able to understand each other and to be able to get together, I think. And I think there might have even been some family pressure around you as well. And maybe that was around these cultural differences. It was something like that. But you're still together. You fought through all of this, and you're happy together. You love each other. I'm seeing that. And even though this person really cares about you, I think this might be where some of this pressure is coming from outside of this other situation. I don't think this person wants to pressure you. I think they really do care about you. I keep on seeing that. But maybe they just didn't understand, or they just still don't understand how difficult this situation is for you. I'm seeing the situation causing a bit of strain on this relationship, if this resonates with you. So it might be that you're at work, you've got this horrible person, you're dealing with this pressure, and you come home, or you talk to this person after work, and you try and kind of offload to them, and they're kind of thinking, oh, why don't you just get through this? Why don't you just manage this? I want to be sympathetic. I want to be empathetic, I should say. I want to help you. I want to be there for you. But I'm hearing this day after day, and it's exhausting me, and it's putting pressure on us as well. You're not the same person that you used to be. You're tired, you're exhausted. So it is, this problem has been putting pressure on this connection, this love connection. So the next card you have, your present, is the Empress. So I don't know if your partner or this love connection that I'm seeing in the Temperance card has children, or if you have children, or maybe both of you do. I'm actually seeing blended families. The Temperance card can obviously be about blending, with the way this angel is blending these 2 cups of water together. And the Empress is obviously a loving, caring mother. So I'm seeing families in both of those cards. And, you know, if this resonates and you are in a blended family, or you are forming a blended family with this person, I think this is going to go very well. I'm not seeing any problems around this. I'm actually feeling a lot of love and a lot of harmony around this situation. And I think this also might be a message to you, this card, to try to stay as calm as you can around this difficult person in the Ace of Swords. I know that's really hard, because I was really feeling how difficult this whole thing was. This was really bothering me. I wasn't even able to talk properly when I was in that mode. And I know if that feels like that for me, imagine what that feels like for you. I know. So I know that's easy for me to say, keep calm around this person. But I think, you know, you like to debate, you like to analyze, and you have a very clear way of getting your point across. But obviously you can't expect other people to be like that all the time. They don't always have the same outlook as you. And this difficult person definitely does not have the same outlook as you. They're the Knight of Swords. They just jump in, they defend themselves. They're kind of difficult. They're kind of a bit crazy, out of control. So yeah, actually they go from being the Knight of Swords to being the Page of Swords. So they go from someone who's crazy with a bit of maturity to someone who has no maturity. So that's fantastic for you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at this. I know it's really serious, because I was really feeling that. So you might have to try to come up with some other way of maybe dealing with this person around this situation, because trying to talk to them in a reasonable way isn't working. I'm actually seeing you trying to stick to the point when you're trying to talk to them, but they run all over the place in conversations with you. You never quite know where you are with them. And this Empress is really creative as well. The Empress is a creative card. So maybe try to think about something, maybe some strategies that are really different, really creative, coming at it from a different angle or something like that. I don't know, but obviously the way that you're trying to tackle this isn't working. Normal ways of discussing things don't work with this person, obviously. So maybe sit quietly somewhere by yourself, like this beautiful Empress is sitting in her garden. Think about some different strategies, some creative ideas or something maybe that might help this. But you're going to have a clear head. You're going to have to get some time or some peace to be able to let those ideas come in. But obviously what you're doing now, or what you have been doing, isn't really getting you very far. So you're going to have to think of something else. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have, your present, is Strength. So yes, I know you're not an angry person. I know you're not an aggressive kind of a person, but this is another reminder to you, I think. You can already see through this person, I think. I think you can see through what they're trying to do. Not totally. They're trying to kind of muddy the waters. They're trying to be difficult. They're trying to be all over the place to get you confused. But I think you can definitely see a lot of what's going on anyway. Not everything, but you know, you kind of know what's going on. And I think, you know, it's going to take some kind of creative outlook, as I was seeing in the Empress card, as well as being really, really careful, really calm around this person, as calm as you possibly can be. Because I think, you know, they're on the attack, obviously. And I think trying to keep as calm as you can might lessen any future attacks. And I think, you know, by appearing to be calm and as reasonable as you can, that might calm them down a little bit as well, at least. That might do something to keep them calm. And then when they're calm and they're kind of a little bit more comfortable, then you can come in with some of these kind of creative strategies. It might be something like that. The other thing I'm seeing is, I don't want to make you feel paranoid, but just be careful of what you write in emails or texts to this person, because I have a feeling that they're a little bit of a collector, of information. So just be careful not to say anything in writing that they might try to use against you. Make sure that your messages and your emails to them are professional and kind of reasonable sounding, and that there's no kind of ambiguity in them. There's nothing that they can take in a different way to what you've said, and they can come and accuse you or anything like that. Just when you send them messages, if you do, read over things before you hit send. It's a good idea actually with this person to have emails, to have kind of written evidence of things. But if you do that to get evidence from them, make sure that what you're saying in your messages and your emails are very, very clear, concise, professional, to the point, all of that kind of thing. No accusations, no kind of shady words or whatever, even though you're tempted. I know I would be, because I think they might collect them and they might try to use them against you at some time. Now, don't be paranoid. I don't think they'll definitely do this, but I am seeing that this person is going to use all sorts of different things, and that might be something they might do. So just be careful of that. So the first card you have for your future is the Five of Wands. Yeah. So yeah, I know I keep on repeating myself, but I keep on seeing this really, really difficult situation. So obviously, whoever's resonating with this has this on their mind all the time. And I can see why, because when I was looking at the past cards and I was trying to articulate what I was seeing, it was a great, big, horrible mess, which is what I'm seeing here. This card can be the mess card. It's a bit like one of those hidden object puzzles where you have to find the hidden object. And again, I think this is what this person's trying to do. They're trying to confuse you by making any discussions that you try to have with them or conversations. They kind of make them jump all over the place so you don't know where you are, and they're kind of confusing everything. They don't stick to the point. They kind of jump everywhere. And obviously, you know that. This is very childish. These are boys in this card and they're just playing a game. But again, I think you might want to just let them play their games for a while you try to sit far away from them, hopefully in peace, while you think about some new strategies and how to deal with them. Because again, I know I'm repeating myself, but what you're trying to do, trying to be sensible, talking to them, reasoning, does not work with this person. They're completely unreasonable, and they're not trying to get to the point. They're not trying to help you to get your work done. They're not trying to get to an objective, to get to a goal with you. They're trying to mess you up because they think that their job's either threatened or you're threatening them in some way, so they're coming back to attack you. That's what I keep on seeing in this. And yeah, you probably don't want to hear this, but I think it'll probably take some time until you can actually think of these ideas or these solutions, because I'm seeing a lot of mess in your head, a lot of confusion in your head that they've put in your head, and it's going to be a gradual clearing. And once that's cleared out of your head, then you're going to be able to see things clearly, and you're going to have these kind of creative or other ideas come into your head. I hope that makes sense, because I think your emotions are really tied into a lot of things that they've said to you as well. I think they've probably said some hurtful things to you, and because your past is full of swords as well, and swords hurt, so there's no getting away from that. But I don't know if this is going to help or not, but I don't think they actually mean what they say. I think they might have just been saying these things to throw you off. I think everything they're doing is designed to throw you off. So again, get some time to yourself, get a bit of peace to yourself, to think about these strategies, to get a clear head, to allow them to come into your head. Also, get this time to yourself because you do need it. You need to take as many breaks from this person as you possibly can. It might even get to the stage, if it gets serious, where you have to take some leave or you have to take some time off. It might get that serious. I hope it doesn't. But this person's a really, really, I've never seen one like this. They're in their own league, I've got to say. The next card you have for your future is the Four of Pentacles. So I think there might be some money coming to you, and I think this is going to be a surprise when it comes in. So this is a good thing that's coming in. Hooray, something good's coming in. So I'm actually seeing someone offering you some kind of contract or some sort of work that you can do on the side or something like that. And I think this is something that you really enjoy doing as well. There's a lot of freedom around this, so you are going to feel a little bit freer because you're going to have this money come in and because you're going to be concentrating on this. And I think you've had to be really careful with your money, actually. Maybe things have been a bit tight, a bit difficult around money for a long time, especially last year. I think things were very difficult last year, and obviously at the start of this year as well. And I think this contract or this work that's going to come in with this money that comes in, that's going to give you a bit of a break financially. And it's going to give you a new focus as well from all of this stress that's been going through your mind. And I think maybe when your mind's focused on this work, this might be when some of these ideas start to come into your mind as well, because they're either going to come in when your mind's more relaxed or when it's focused elsewhere. That's what I'm seeing. But they are going to come in. The ideas are going to come in, and you're going to be able to use them to kind of tackle this person. But I'm still seeing a lot of problems around this, and I think it might come to a crunch time where you might think about leaving your job. That's how serious this is. I'm seeing a lot of very serious things going on around this, because I think no one can cope with this forever. I think, everyone is going to have their breaking point. And that's why I was saying you needed to get as many breaks as you could from this person. I think you might actually end up looking for a new job. That's how bad it is. But yeah, don't stress about this. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. It's very bad. It's very bad. Yeah, the last card you have for your future is the Seven of Cups. So yeah, this is another card about confusion. This person is, they're still trying to confuse you. There's confusion everywhere, all over this reading because of this difficult person. And this card can also be a warning sometimes. It can be a warning about not to give in to temptations, not to overdo things. And I don't want to boss you. I don't want to be the boring voice of doom or anything like that. But, I'm just looking at this and the Four of Pentacles together. And I think this might be reminding you not to overspend, to keep on being careful when this money does come in. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't spend anything. Of course, if you want to treat yourself, you can do that. But just be careful not to overdo things. Put some money away, put some money behind you, keep on saving. And I think I know why this is. And I think this might be because you might be looking for another job because of this horrible work situation. Or it might come to the point where you just have to leave and you have to say goodbye. Now, whatever happens, you are going to have some savings behind you so that, whatever happens, you have that. It might be that you have to look for another job and you find something that isn't paid as much as this. It might be that. Or it might be that you have to have a period of time when you're out of work. Or it might be that you have legal issues to do with this person. It might be none of that. It might be absolutely fine. You might be there, you might resolve this, or you might stay there until you find a new job and it might be better than this and everything might be great. But what this is saying to you is things are unsure. Things are unsure at this time. Things are up in the clouds. Like, have a look at these cups. They're all up in the clouds. He doesn't know what he's doing. So because things are unsure around your work situation because of this person, keep some money aside, save as much as you can, keep on saving until you're sure of this situation, until everything stabilizes again. And it will stabilize again in some way for you. That's what I'm seeing.